recording. I think you have another assignment, Diane,
Yes.
to make sure I turn the recorder on.
I see it's on.
Okay. So some quick announcements, and hopefully our speaker will join us. Okay. So first, Al Pasco is now officially a Cape Charles Rotarian. So when you see Al, give him the secret handshake. And he's not here today because he's working the polls. And we'll bring him on next week, and soon we'll be giving him his pin. Paul, you got the order in for his pin?
No, I need to contact him, see what he exactly wants on it.
Yeah. Okay. He's a geek. He's a database manager type. But he'll help you out.
Well,
there.
I'm not talking about, I was talking about the name tag, of course. Yeah, I think I have pins, but I need to get some more anyway.
Okay. You meant his badge.
Yeah.
Okay. The board has passed a proposal made by Paul Strong that Monica Bridgeport Fourth be a honorary member of the Cape Charles Club. So Monica is an honorary member, and hopefully with that we can get her to help us with crab cakes still. I've tried to reach her, but she is so busy with the yacht club, she hasn't returned the call. Or maybe she just doesn't like me. I don't know, but we have to get that message to her.
Weather for yachting.
I'm sorry?
It's good weather for yachting. That's maybe what you're doing.
There are no yachts at the Eastern Shore Yacht and Country Club.
Oh.
They don't even have rowboats. Reggie and Regina are working on our next in-person outing. They have their eye on the 14th of July, and they asked me to send out a survey so we can all participate in what it looks like, what it feels like, how it's going to operate, in fact, when it is. So I sent out a email this morning, and Regina and I will be pulling that information together so that next week we can tell you, what we're going to do. I've asked that you respond by this Friday, and if you don't want to fool around with your email machine, you can call Regina. Her telephone number is in that email. So any comment at this point about our next meeting where we're going to be, where we can actually see each other in person?
Well, I've gotten 2 responses already positive, so that's great.
Oh, we're definitely going to do it. It's a matter of where or when, and the management of it is in good hands with you and Reggie. So I'm looking forward to getting back together, getting the band back together. Medi, good morning or good afternoon.
Good morning.
Last week, Bob Church stepped up and said, "I'll be the highway czar. I'll help organize cleaning the highway." Then I got an email from Dennis Libby. Dennis said, "I've changed my mind. I'll do it. I'll do it." So what I did, I asked Dennis and Bob to get their heads together. I think it would be great to have 2 people sharing that grief. So it looks like we're going to have 2 highway czars, but we still do not have a president nominee.
Just wait. Dennis might change his mind as well. So,
Mary, you're a salesperson, and a cardinal rule in sales is First to speak loses. You know that. Yeah, but we'll get there. I'm confident that we'll have a president nominee before long. We also called out that we were going to need an awards chair. Now, the awards chair is the person that gathers all the information across the year so that when district has their awards dinner, we have a fighting chance. At least we will participate in trying to get our information to the district awards committee. Now, the reason we don't have it this year is I didn't really care. I'm not an awards kind of person. I think, you get your award in heaven or wherever you're going. But John, you'll be happy to know that the club last week said that you would take over that chairmanship.
Who?
So congratulations are in order, John.
Doesn't pay to miss a meeting, John.
Wait. I was in Richmond. That's not fair. I was on the golf course. I can't be held liable for that.
Okay, that's kind of a joke, but because John's already a chair, but there's nothing that says you can't have two jobs.
I do have a nominee for that job. Well, I was on the golf course twice, 2 separate days. It's never happened to me in 60 plus years of playing golf. I had a crow get in my golf cart and empty a bag that I had in there and steal a Cliff Bar. 2 days out of 3.
Oh, that's funny.
It never happened. The second day I put a protein bar and a Cliff Bar. He liked the Cliff Bar better. I don't know if it's the same crow or not. I mean, literally got into the cart, got in the bag, pulled it out, shook it out, got the Cliff Bar and flew off. I was afraid.
He's looking for you out there.
It was probably the same crow. He saw you as a soft touch.
He did. He saw me as a sucker. That's what I'm saying. We need to get that crow in the club. He could add a lot of brain power to our club. I can tell you right now.
He's out there every day, John, so that the crow can get his meal.
Okay.
Back. He's gonna be underfed, right?
We've got a problem, Houston. Our guest speaker isn't here. So I'm going to look for his telephone number. Hey, Bill, would you have Bobby Masters' telephone number? You of all people, I would think you would.
Hey, I gave you his email address. I don't have his phone number.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, while I'm looking for it, Paul Strong met with Roberta Romeo, and Paul, will you give the membership an update on what's going on with Roberta?
Sure. I actually didn't meet face to face with Roberta. I took her a check for $500 by, which was for June. We've been giving her $500 a month just as a thank you for being a place that hosted us, and we're sorry that you've had to lose so much business, including our meetings, because of COVID. But Marshall Jr. was there. Roberta wasn't there, and he said that he wasn't allowing Roberta or Marshall Sr. to come in, that he was taking care of it there. Because he didn't want either one of them to risk any exposure to the virus. So that's a good thing that he's doing for his parents. So I did get Roberta then on the phone. I gave Marshall the check, of course. And Roberta, a day or two later, said that she had gotten the check and she was very appreciative of that, and also wanted the club to know how very, very much she appreciated getting these monthly checks. She told me that it was a lifesaver. I mean, she used that word, and that she felt indebted to our club, and she wanted to, when this was all over, to somehow repay us. I told her
Yeah,
that
this is
we had
Bill Payne with the Cape
we
Charles
talked
Rotary.
about how to. Hey, Bill, you out?
Bobby Masters is scheduled to speak at
Bill.
our meeting,
Anyway,
Bill,
and
Bill, mute.
he's not here.
Yeah.
So,
anyway, she
so do
I
you have
told
his
her
telephone number?
under what circumstances we might come back and when.
Thank
and
you.
It depended on several
Bobby
things.
Masters. He's a VP with.
Bill, mute.
Mute.
She's asked her what her capacity was, and she says it's well over 50. So that when we get to stage 3, which is I think this Friday, and their restaurants are allowed to have 50% of their capacity. She would easily be able to handle over 25, which I can't imagine we'd ever have more of that for a meeting. And I said, well, each one of us is we don't have families together, so each one of us would have to be 6 feet apart from each other member to be safe. And she said that she thought she could get easily more than 20 people inside, more than 6 feet apart, and she would, they'd work on spacing the tables that way. And she was eager to have us back, and I said, well, the other thing is that many of our members have already expressed that they're not likely to go back to an indoor meeting in a restaurant within the next several months. And she understood that, and she said that first of all, she had volunteers every day telling her they will deliver meals for her, and that she said that she would be glad to deliver a lunch, or have, not herself of course, but have lunches delivered to members who didn't want to come to the meetings because of COVID, and so we could do it that way. The other thing is, said, well, we're not likely to get 20 people, and what would be the minimum that you would have to make this worth your while, that we would have to pay for? For example, would you accept 15 instead of 20 that would have to pay as a minimum for? And she said absolutely she would do that. Again, she feels indebted to the club. She's very open to us coming back. She feels like she can handle the meetings and socially distance us, and she will lower the requirement for numbers.
Paul, is that $500 check a quarterly or a monthly check? The $500
We give her a monthly check for $500.
monthly?
Yeah. No, weekly. No, monthly. I'm sorry. Monthly check for $500.
For what period again?
We've been doing that since we stopped meeting there, and the board decided at our last board meeting that we would continue to do it through the next quarter. But okay, every monthly check. And I told Roberta that too, and again, she was extremely appreciative. Of course, if we started having meetings there, that would stop.
Did you get to ask her about internet access to Zoom the meetings?
I told her that our plan was to continue Zoom during our meetings, so that people that couldn't come or didn't want to come because of COVID could still participate. And she said that, it's a great idea. And she of course has internet there. I know we have run into some problems with whatever the term is for
Bandwidth is a little slow.
bandwidth. Yeah. It's a little slow.
But we'll make it work. We'll figure that, we'll jump off that bridge when we get to it, but we definitely, I think the idea of continuing Zoom when we go back is tremendous. We're still looking for a senior vice president of technology. I'm going to go on mute. I think this might be Masters.
So any other reactions? I mean, I don't think any of us anticipate even within the next month there or so, but as we get into stage 3, if the incidence keeps falling, I noticed we did have a little blip up for Northampton County this past week, as well as for Accomack County. But the overall trend line seems to be down. I hope that continues.
Well, any other questions? Look, we're not going to have a speaker, it looks like, so you guys, we can keep talking if you want. If you want to pump Paul and Mark for virus stuff.
Hey, Bill, before we get to happy dollars or anything like that, I thought I'd give you an update, a secondhand update on Mark Nunez and Katie.
Good.
Sela had time with her last night, along with some other women who are kind of her support group. He's at the 18-month point now, which is the outer limit of what they expected to begin with. He's losing some motor skills and so on, but he likes to get out and work in the yard. And so under the circumstances, he's certainly doing as well as might be expected, better than anybody probably really expected. But he's apparently in a more noticeable decline with motor skills, things like that, which is not unexpected, I guess. So just keep them in your prayers. That's a very sad situation, as most people know. He's been, like I say, 18 months with, just a very bad prognosis and an ultimate, end that's probably very foreseeable now. More.
John, I missed who you were speaking about.
Mark Nunez, Katie's husband. Katie Nunez's husband.
Gotcha.
So John, how's Katie doing?
Well, I mean, given the fact that she lost a job that paid her about twice what she's making now, and he lost his job remarkably well. I mean, they've managed to handle that and some of the things with that. And I talked to some people here in my office this morning. I mean, having him there for this extended period of time has been a blessing beyond what they expected, but it's still a real drain emotionally too. I mean, there's no good answer to this, of course, So anyway, Joan may know something about it too, because they're have been active in the Catholic Church. But that came to me through Sela this morning from having a little get together last night, which they do periodically. They have been a support group. There's 3 other women who joined Sela, and they kind of help out. So.
Joan, can you add anything?
No, I'm afraid I can't.
Okay. Let's think about what we can do for Katie and Mark. And John, I'll ask you to come forward with something.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, one of the things, he's no longer, even if it were not the issue, able to eat out because of his motor skills issues. So, maybe taking him food, that kind of thing would be a good idea. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. Just, not to put you on the spot right now, but if you could think about it.
I will. I'll be glad to. That's why I brought it up. I mean, it's, it's a very sad situation, and whatever we can do to make it a little better would be a good thing. So I'll get back to you.
That is disappointing. Anything else from the membership that we ought to know? Okay, then I'll remind you to call your buddies, invite your friends and neighbors. And Diane, what time is it?
It is Happy Dollars time.
Happy Dollars. And following that sad news about Mark, it's kind of tough to be happy. I know, but we have to take what's thrown our way and keep marching. And I would like to have one happy dollar in terms of a prayer for Mark. So put me down for $1. And then I'll come back with another couple of happy dollars.
Let me change the tone. I'll finish on the crow story. On the second pick, he either took or shook out of the bag my room key. So I went back to the desk and told him, to be sure and not let him run up a bar tab. As far as I know, he did not. I don't know. I think that story alone is worth $5. I'm never. I mean, like I say, this truth is always stranger than fiction. But I mean, I know crows are smart. How he figured this all out and pulled it off, and I'm talking about in a matter of seconds. This was not an elongated sort of theft. It was really quick. So,
otherwise you would have had pictures, John.
yeah, exactly. I mean, the first time I didn't finish. The first time he was at the bar opening it up. I mean, we're talking 15, 20 seconds tops. And the guy I was playing with was on the other side of the green. So he walked toward him and the crow walked away and left the bar. And he already had a hole in the package the size of a quarter. And of course, I opened it up and gave it to him. I wasn't going to eat it. Plus, he'd worked that hard to get it. And maybe that's why he saw me. He probably waited till I came back the next day. So I do feel bad about it. Maybe he's not going to eat well since I'm not there to feed him. I don't know. But anyway.
This must have been in West Virginia.
No, actually, it was at the crossings in Glen Allen.
Oh, because you said a room key, and a room key usually now is like a credit card.
It is. But yeah, but I didn't realize I'd lost it because he literally, the bag was a paper bag with a little handle, a small bag, and I had, my wallet in there, which he didn't take that, fortunately, but he didn't take the room key. Probably he just shook it out. I didn't see it and didn't realize I was missing it until I got back to the end of the round. So,
hey, I'm going to interrupt you, John, and interrupt Happy Dollars because Bobby Masters is on the screen.
Oh, I see that. Good.
Hey, Bobby, are you there?
I am. I apologize. I somehow had it down for 12:30 instead of 12. It's my bad.
Not your bad. You just missed a lot of clowns making jokes and that sort of thing, Bobby. We are up. If you can hang in with us, we're in the middle of a Rotary tradition called Happy Dollars, where we throw $1 or $2 in the pot to celebrate something that has happened good in our life. So do we want to continue Happy Dollars and show Bobby Masters how we do it? Bill Stram.
Gotta unmute yourself.
I have 2 Happy Dollars. I have been fortunate to have my grandsons and daughter here since Friday, and they're still here. So, but they're going back today. So it's been a great time. So I have 2 Happy Dollars.
Thank you, Bill.
I have 2 Happy Dollars. This weekend, we're having a Zoom birthday party for my brother, who hits 80 years old this weekend. And so it's going to be on Zoom for an hour. We're going to get together. And the following weekend, a party, which will be a physical presence type of thing. We're going to travel up to Pennsylvania. And my son is celebrating his 60th wedding anniversary on the 4th of July, 60th birthday on the 4th of July. He's always been a firecracker anyway, but we'll get together for that party.
That's great.
I'm sorry, Alan, how many dollars was that?
Oops. Someone else? Go ahead.
Alan, how many dollars?
$1, $2, what?
$1 for each, $2. Yeah.
Okay, I said I'd circle back around with 3 Happy Dollars because I have 3 grandkids. They're little kids. We got late start, and their parents got a late start, and they sent me a video, and one sent me a homemade Father's Day card. So they're $3, one for each of those kids.
Bill, I have one that's associated with Father's Day as well. I'm going to do 2 Happy Dollars for being able to celebrate another Father's Day with my 91-year-old dad. So,
wow.
Put me down for $2, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Nice. I have 2 Happy Dollars. I am happy because I have practically finished writing Tom Godwin's memoir about the invisible history growing up colored in Cape Charles, Virginia. And I have submitted that now for professional copy editing, so it should be ready for publication sometime in the next few weeks. And another Happy Dollar because my garden is doing well. I have planted shishito peppers and I'm going to harvest my first dozen sometime this week. And if
That's
you
great, Medi.
chili peppers, they are wonderful to roast until they burst, and then just put salt on it, and it's wonderful.
Thank you, Medi. In fact, Tom's memoir will be a bestseller. I guarantee you.
Well, I plan to market it so that the history will be disseminated.
That is great. Any other happy dollars? Okay, Mary. Mary, unmute yourself. Mary, unmute yourself.
I have a happy dollar for, I think I saw Tom joined us through the video call today. You see him?
Yep.
I was thinking inviting him as our guest speaker in July to talk about his book. So I found a guest speaker for next month. I'm happy.
There you go. Thank you, Mary. Okay, we're gonna wrap up happy dollars.
Hey, Bill, if you'd ask Bobby to turn his video on, it might be good if he can.
Yeah, that's so I'm not the only one who can't see Bobby. Bobby, can we see you? You're on mute and you're on.
There's the mute.
Okay. Are you in front of a computer or you're a smartphone?
I'm on my phone, but let's switch over. I'm in front of my computer. Maybe let me switch over to that real quick.
Yeah, we want to see your handsome face.
Oh boy. Okay, hold on.
We're gonna find out.
In fact, while Bobby's doing that, Mary's been doing an outstanding job. Regina's been doing an outstanding job in the speaker category, and we've got a tremendous lineup coming up the next 3 or 4 weeks. So I think you'll be proud of your speaker recruiting that they're doing.
Oh, is anyone, if like anyone has a really good, speaker is willing to join us through Zoom, please let me know so we can put him or her on our speaker list. I tried to, there are some speakers, they just don't want to, they want to meet face to face rather than talk through Zoom. So I
Yeah.
will look for speakers.
Well, we'll just put them on the shelf until we get back together again.
Right.
You know, Ralph, I think Steve Sturgis should come talk to us.
He probably would. I know he's getting ready to speak. He and Kyle are getting ready to speak to the Garden Club on their hydroponics operation.
Yeah, I met his son up at the new place that Baldwin's got up there on near the bridge. So maybe if you asked him, because I know you guys are good buddies, he might consider it. Bobby, you are a handsome guy.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Rotary, Bobby.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
Well, do you know much about Rotary?
A little bit. I'm familiar with it before. I've never been a member, but knew a lot of people who were. So.
Okay, then let me just kind of give you a brief introduction, and it has to be brief because I don't know you that well, and I'll ask you to add to it. But Bobby is one of the senior executives with Preserve Communities. And Preserve Communities is the company that purchased Bay Creek, and they also sponsored the matching food drive that we participated in recently. So Bobby's representing an organization that really is supporting our community. So Bobby, if you would tell us a little bit about yourself first, and then about your company, and then some of your plans for Bay Creek, I think we can go as long as you want.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity. Yeah, I've been in the development business of residential communities, master plan communities for most of my adult life. I'm also actually still a member of the bar in the state of South Carolina. So I'm an attorney. I never really practiced much, but I've kept my license active because you just never know. So, but I've been in this business a long time. Most recently, before I joined Preserve Communities, I was the general manager of St. James Plantation down in the Wilmington, North Carolina area. Prior to that, several large communities throughout the Southeast and even as far as Colorado and the Caribbean and pretty much all over. So I met the folks from Preserve Community in Wilmington when I was finishing up my duties at St. James and found a piece of property for them down here. And they asked me if I'd like to join them, which I did because I'd finished up with St. James. Preserve Communities is based out of Atlanta. It was founded by a guy named Jack Fisher. Jack was a CPA by trade. And in the early 90s, he got into the real estate development business in the Atlanta area and expanded out from there into the mountains of North Carolina and then spread from there. We have a project down in the Beaufort, South Carolina area down near Hilton Head. We have one in Savannah, Georgia. We have the one in Wilmington, which we're in the planning stages now. We also acquired Albemarle Plantation, which is a master plan community down in Hertford, North Carolina, which is about a little over an hour south of the Tidewater area of Virginia. We have property, big tract of land out near Mobile, Alabama, and then a couple of developments up in the mountains of North Carolina. So, quite an extensive reach. And I actually found the Bay Creek property for us. We had purchased Albemarle Plantation, and a gentleman that was down there was familiar with Bay Creek and went up to look at it, I guess, February or so of last year. And one thing led to another, and we ended up closing on the property in November of 2019. From St. Clair Broadcasting. St. Clair stayed in the deal as a 10% minority partner, but no management responsibilities. So one of the things that we do on most of our developments, it generally incorporates a conservation easement. Conservation easement gives investors, it returns some of their investment fairly early on. It improves the economics of the project. Plus, so many of these large projects, 2,000 acres, they're 20-year projects. You don't know, you got to go through so many different real estate cycles. So by incorporating a conservation easement, you can shorten the life of your project and make it something that's a bit more manageable. So at Bay Creek, we put about 350 acres into a conservation easement, primarily a lot of the land around the back nine of the Nicholas. We put into conservation easement, and then some of the property out by the roadway where the farms are. Currently, we've come in. We've got some plans to improve the amenities. We've already finishing up a refreshing of the coach house. Spent about $500,000 on that. We had to go and do a new beach revetment down along one of the golf holes. Hurricane Dorian had breached the dune, and it was getting pretty critical. It could have breached on through to where that freshwater pond is, and that could have been a disaster. Could have taken out one of the golf holes and who knows what else. So we just finished up that last month. We've made a lot of improvements on the golf course. Some of them are not readily apparent, but doing a lot of work to try to improve the drainage, especially on the back nine of the Palmer course. Doing some work on the bunkers. They hold water. We're having to redo drainage there. Eventually, we're going to probably have to start reworking some of the greens. But I think we've purchased a lot of new equipment that will help us do that. So that appears to be going well. We've got plans to build a base camp over on Plantation Point. The base camp is going to be sort of the central focal point for our outdoor recreation area. We'll have a dock that you can do a kayak canoe launch off of. We'll have a little garden center over there. Eventually we'll have a sort of an arts and crafts center where you can, come in and do various arts and crafts. Also use it for educational purposes. So hold on one second. And we're going to be doing an extensive trail system. We've hooked up with a group called Avid Trails that go around and do a bunch of trail planning and trail construction. I think the last count, when it's all said and done, we'll probably have close to 20 miles of trails. Right now, we've opened up trails on the cart path of the back 9 into Nicholas. We've got a 3-mile trail and like a 1.6 mile trail, which is getting extensively used already. So we're excited about that. Eventually we'll be, after the close of the summer, we're going to start renovating the existing pool that's down by the beach, redoing all of that. We've already purchased about $100,000 worth of new fitness equipment, which is installed in the fitness center. So just a lot of work going on. The big plan that we have, we'll be building a new beach club out on the beach. There'll be a restaurant and decks for people to lounge and enjoy the sun and that type of thing. So a lot of big plans. Good news is, the biggest thing I think that we're going to be doing, can y'all hold on one second? Let me just take care of this phone here. So one of the big things we're doing is marketing. For many years, Bay Creek really didn't have a lot of marketing dollars in their budget. And for that reason, it sort of fell off the radar screen. So we're going to be spending about $2 million on marketing this year. We've already spent a good bit of that. We started building some good momentum before the COVID-19 hit, and then that shut us down for a couple of months. But we've started back up now, and just in the last 2 weeks, we've sold 2 bayfront lots. We sold a spec home. We sold a couple more lots, sold a lot of resales. We're down to only 4 resale homes in the entire community right now. So one of the things we're going to be doing is starting to build some houses. We just signed a contract to, can y'all hold it 1 second? I got this call, keeps coming in. Just give me 1 minute, okay? If you don't mind.
I think we're all muted. Still watch. For the trail situation. Yeah. Like, well, I can figure what that is. I'll get a map of it. Yeah. She loves those things. Cool. Yeah.
I apologize for that. So a lot of good things going on. We've started a membership drive for the club. I think we've signed up about 60 new people for memberships. So we're really excited about the future. As you guys know, Bay Creek's a great place. It's a beautiful community. Cape Charles is a great town. So we're very excited and glad to be there. I'm spending probably about I live in Wilmington, but I'm up in Bay Creek about 3 weeks out of every month. So you'll be seeing my face around, and looking forward to meeting each and every one of you. And I'll be glad to, any questions or any comments anybody has, I'll be glad.
Yeah, we have time for questions for Bobby.
One quick question for you, Bobby. Does your project include the Marina Village area?
Well, that's, obviously that's a part of Bay Creek, but we don't own anything over there. All of that was sold. So, but obviously it's a part of the overall Bay Creek Property Owners Association, but we don't own anything over there.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Bobby, who are your core customers? Who are you marketing to for this community?
Well, it's a mix. We have some of the traditional retirement market up, on the Atlantic coast. But the big, I think, we're going to be probably seeing a few more second homeowners. I think our market really is Northern Virginia, DC area. We're actually getting a lot of interest from people from across the bay. We've made like 3 sales to people that were just like, we're tired of being over there. We want to come to someplace, more peaceful. So I think between Northern Virginia, DC, Tidewater area, and then we have a pretty good little market in Richmond as well. So those 3 areas, and then we'll still have some of the traditional retirement market as well too.
Have you seen?
It's open for is it only for people at Bay Creek, or is it open for everyone to go to eat right now?
Right now, what we're trying to do is, we are a private club in a private community, but we're trying to transition to that. Right before COVID hit, we were getting ready to put in a situation where you'd have to call for a reservation to come to the restaurant. So we could control traffic, and they'd have to have a pass so we can, keep account of people coming in and out and that type of thing. So we're still in that transition period.
John, did you have a second question for Bobby?
Say, I don't deal in real estate at all, but I know anecdotally there's some activity here from people who've decided they want to be in a more rural area as opposed to urban area because of COVID. Have you seen that impact on some of these sales?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the people we're talking to are wanting to get out of the cities. We go to these real estate shows that a group called Ideal Living puts on, and they did a survey of their database just to try to get a feel for how COVID was going to be changing any people's plans for moving or relocating. And basically the response was that yes, it's going to change our plan, meaning that we're probably going to relocate earlier than we thought we were, and we're probably going to spend more money than we thought we were, because we're ready to get out of the congestion, and we see how valuable it is to have a place that you can escape to and a retreat to go to when things like this happen. So, it's, in a way, it's probably going to help our market.
That's okay.
Bobby, I have a question.
Hold on 1 second. I got to plug my computer cord in. My battery was running low. 1 second.
Okay.
All right.
My question, you talked about the trails. Are the trails suitable to running? I mean, by that, are they going to be?
Yes.
Okay. So I won't
Yeah,
twist
they're going
an
to be.
ankle?
We'll have some. It'll be a combination. We'll have, all of them will be suitable for running. We'll have some that will be set up for biking, some for mountain biking, some for golf carts even. So it's going to be, multi-purpose trails. Some sections will be just for runners, some sections for different things. So, but they'll definitely be suited for running.
So I can get off Bill Stram's golf course.
That's right.
That's an inside joke, Bobby.
Okay.
Any other questions for Bobby?
Bobby, when do you expect the beach club to open?
We're going through the permitting and all, as you might imagine, being on close to the dune and the water, it takes a lot longer. So we're hoping to get started construction probably sometime in 2021, which would open up sometime towards the end of 2021. It's sort of like the timeline we're on now.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Well, okay. Well, Bobby, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sorry we can't have an in-person meeting where we would shower you with gifts, but we'll have to we'll have to catch up with you on that because you have a standing invitation to join us for lunch any Tuesday you're in town, and hopefully we're back in the Cape Charles Coffee House soon. But I do appreciate it. Obviously, you're a very busy guy, and I appreciate your taking time to be with us today.
Oh, I enjoy it. Y'all do a lot of good things, and so glad to be a part of it, and appreciate the invitation to join your meeting.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Diane. With regard to what we think, say, and do, 1, is it the truth? 2, is it fair to all concerned? 3, will it build goodwill and better friendship?
Build goodwill and better friendship.
4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And Stanley,
Will we have fun?
see you next week.
Hey, one more thing, Bill.
Yeah.
Before we, does everyone know that there's a virtual convention going on now?
The one in Hawaii, Taiwan?
No, that's next year. There's the one in Hawaii now. It's virtual. I don't know if everyone's gotten information about that. They're having breakout sessions until Friday. You can still register if you want to participate. And then they're also telling you about the one in Taipei next year.
Thank you, Stanley. If you can squeeze it in, take in a few of those virtual meetings.
Yeah,
all right.
I'll get an opportunity to see what it's like to go to a convention.
Yes.
Yeah.
Without
the way Bill and Stanley and I did a couple of years. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye.